Welcome to hell.
For a year.
That's where I'm from.
Oh, nice.
That's the South. No, just kidding.
You can go fuck yourself, too. Whoa, guy. Easy. Breathe.
Oh, you got this thing
I got that recorded, too.
Okay, good.
Does that disgust you?
Okay over there?
I will be belching all night.
Why?
It's just one of those nights, but I don't have to.
Why
Will
is
it
an
please everyone if I
option?
suppress them?
Into the micro, like
No, I was doing it that way.
Hello and welcome to the Jersey Shore Musicians Podcast.
Just start over because that's fucking funny. Oh, God. Welcome back.
Hello and welcome to the Jersey Shore Musicians Podcast. I'm Matt. That's Jeff.
Hello.
And tonight we're doing a little discussion with our friends Heather Lowry and, well, you guys know that guy, Mr. Mark Ward over there.
Are you like a VIP on this?
We keep him around for
podcast or
entertainment
something?
purposes.
I'm fucking here once. I don't know.
Don't curse. Children listen to this.
I don't even know where to pee. No, I'm not a VIP. I took a shit in the hedges.
Oh gosh.
That's a good start right there.
On my third appearance, I get to use the bathroom.
Lovely.
At least they're your hedges and not mine.
I don't have to go in there. I don't care.
So how we doing tonight?
I'm well.
Splendid.
Wonderful.
How about you?
I'm great. Dandy.
That was
Did
very
you say
convincing.
grat?
I'm probably slurred great a little bit, but
There were like 3 vowels at the same time. There's
Yeah.
a umlaut and you're great.
well,
Grat.
blame Captain Morgan.
So we just start things off. We got Heather Lowry here. She booked shows all summer long at Profitability Records, one of our sponsors.
Hi, David and Ethan.
Just give us a little background on you and what you do and how you got involved with Lowfidelic and
I was actually just stepping in there to see if David had any like comedian records. Ew, for real? No, how about you
This is
just
gonna
let
be
it
great.
out? Just let it out.
I'm not stopping you. You're stopping you.
I cannot wait. I'm gonna have something for when you're speaking.
You could have kept going.
What should be my thing when Mark's...
just let them out quick and that way I'll just chop them out.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Chop
do
'em
it.
out.
Or use them for comedic purposes.
Put a mustache on the moon. For Christ's sake.
There
All
we
right,
go.
so
Anyways, so I was just stopping in to see any comedy records because it's the only thing that I do collect. And while I was in there, I was like, hey, do you put on shows? And he's like, I do, but there haven't been great turnouts. And I was like, I'll change that for you. And then 6 months later, 26 bands later, we're doing shows every other Wednesday. I'm retired now, but shows are still going on at Lowfidelic Records.
They're not pushing them nearly as much. There have been a number of shows that went on that I only found out about because he was posting about them live. They got pushed and the schedule came out and I was able to go. I went to every show because they were promoted.
Yeah.
And then there have been, I just missed something, Raga Gaia, something like that. There was a sitar, there was a saxophonist,
that.
and I didn't see it. I really wanted to see it. And
Oh, my word.
anyway, I'm gonna swallow that.
But yeah, but that was the beauty of what we were doing at Lowfidelic is that we were doing it every other Wednesday, so people didn't even have to look for like a flyer to come out or everything because they knew every other Wednesday there was going to be a show there. And one thing that I loved a lot about it is that we were all ages. So some days we would have babies with headphones like Jeff has on. We would have bands of teenagers, all ages, constantly. So
And BYOB.
yeah, it was and free.
That's my note.
Yeah,
well, that's how I met you and
free.
I
Well, that's
got
how,
Lowfidelic involved with the podcast
and
as
then
I went out
that's
to go
how
see
you
Gristmill.
got booked actually because he actually referred your band.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
No problem, man.
Hey, you
So-
facilitated this. Good on you.
Yeah.
I tried. I look out for my peoples, you know? All right over there?
Hi.
Should we have a tally mark for how many burps we're doing?
I'm gonna start
Why
at
is it
5.
happening
I'm
now?
gonna start it at 5.
Meow. My word.
We're at 5 already, folks.
I'm starting at 5. Oh God. And that's
So yeah.
So you're also a stand-up comic, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Get a little bit into that. How long you been doing it?
My word. I've been doing stand-up comedy since, I don't know, 7 years now? 8 years now? When I first started, I was actually working with the Brighton Bar doing comedy. And comedy actually is what held the Brighton Bar through the pandemic, which is pretty awesome. So years ago, I started, because in the area, I noticed that a lot of stand-up comedians had to commute at least 45 minutes to an hour to get anywhere. And we had a lot of stand-up comedians in the Jersey Shore area. So I contacted Greg Macalino, who is one of the owners of Brighton Bar, who was also my history teacher in middle school. And I was like, listen, what do you guys have going on Mondays? And I was like, I would like to do a strictly comedy open mic. So then I did that for 1 year. When I exactly hit 1 year, I said peace, passed it on to another comedian. I don't want to say I have commitment issues. I don't. But like,
I don't.
I like to do things for a period of time, check it off, and then try something different. That's why with like Low Fidelic, I've never really worked strictly with bands, and when people were hearing I was doing this, they thought I was doing an opening act, and I was like, no, I'm not doing any comedy with this. And people are like, what? I'm like, no, I just want to have something going on with music, bringing the kids in, because these poor kids in the past 3 years really got to miss out with a lot of things going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Socially,
especially
it's been real hard on kids.
yeah. So thinking about teenagers, you know, like growing up, like we'd go to, what's the place in Sayreville? Starland, you know, and then we had like Warped Tour. We had all these things to expose ourselves in our teenage years, and especially your son, you said 17.
Yeah.
Like he just went 3 years of not being able to see like live music. And as a teenager, that's what we like thrived on, is like getting out and like seeing shows. So when I did this with David, being able to have all ages meant like the world to me, because like, you know, kids are the future. I mean, duh. So, but back to like with the open mic for comedy, I strictly wanted to keep it for comedians only, because there is a lot of stuff for musicians. There's not a lot of stuff for comedians. They would have to go.
Well, there's a lot of stuff for certain musicians.
Really?
Yes, for and then certain musicians, they don't really have a lot of avenues. Like the heavier end of the spectrum is very curtailed to a few select venues, we'll say.
Why? Because it's loud? Or do you think it's the genre?
It's just not the it thing right now. You know?
That's interesting, because I feel like hardcore shows are popular.
They're getting back there. But it's a lot more like DIY kind of stuff. Not so much like an actual like venue putting it on.
How many venues are there?
There's 3. Venue.
Saint, Dingbats, and I'm talking like that level.
You got the House of Independence, was a little bit bigger than that.
You have the lanes.
I mean, you got Bond Street Basement.
4.
You know, the Lanes doesn't even really do any heavy music really anymore at all.
Is Court Tavern still doing shows?
I don't believe
That
so.
closed down, right?
Mill Hill.
Yeah, you got the Mill Hill, but that's all the way out in Trenton.
basement.
It's a hike.
Yeah. What?
It's a basement.
Yeah, that's a great venue.
I've never.
It's a cool place. I played there a couple
But
months
would
ago.
you consider it a venue?
Yeah.
Capital V venue. Yeah.
It's tiny, but it's still a venue.
Okay.
I feel like they're constantly booking.
So
Well, yeah,
fine.
there's always something
Sweet.
going on there.
Cool.
But
so
the thing
fine.
is that, like, I did notice working with a lot of the bands for Low Fidelic Records, a lot of the bands are so grateful that, like, I had no rhyme or reason when I booked these shows. Like, if you contacted me, I was like, sure, you're in. And people were like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, I didn't even ask what kind of genre it was. Like, like, a lot of people when they're booking shows, they do, like, all the same type of music together. Like, I would have
Try to make the whole show
sometimes...
flow with each other. Yeah.
Exactly, which is understandable. But I kind of I was like, hey, whatever, you want to be on the show, you're on the show. And people would be super grateful, because Asbury Park is very, they're just becoming more of like,
Mega
how
rich and
popular
just
are you? how much money can you make us? Who
That's what it's all
are
about
you?
right there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who are you? Why should we book you? Where I'm like, oh, okay, this is your first show ever playing as a band, whatever. Oh, you guys have been playing for 10 years. Cool, let's do this. You know, and everyone that has played, which Mark I have had on the Low Fidelic show, it's a vibe, you know? Like, it brings you back to, like, that very organic, like, middle school.
It's got that DIY feel to it, just like what's kind of up and coming right now.
But what do you mean by that? Like
Like
since it's not
DIY
a
is just like
venue?
someone set up a show, there's a PA and the band's playing. Whoever
Yeah.
shows up, shows up.
Okay.
You
There
know?
needs to be entry level. You can't just have a certain level of venue where you have to have already proven yourself. It's like a catch-22. It's like it's your first job. Well, what's your experience? Well, I don't have experience till I get my first job. You need opportunities like this. You need venues like this. You need people like this putting on shows like this that just play any band, any genre, any age, anything. It's so crucial for what she's doing, and the fact that you're retiring, the fact that you're not putting shows on anymore.
Hiatus. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hiatus. Yeah.
I don't know.
He's working it out
My
again.
word. I know.
She started with
I
retired.
know.
Now we're at a hiatus. She's gonna make her big comeback within the next hour.
Yeah. By the time this is over, she'll be booking shows next week.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I came from, like, that comedy background of booking shows. But, so, like, I know, Mark, you're saying you're like, well, how hard it is to book shows. Doing, like, the shows at Low Fidelic are some of the easiest things I've ever done because, like, not to sound like a brat, is that I didn't have to look for the bands. The bands came to me. And, like, I know it sounds bratty, but, like, I literally, people would see what we're doing on Instagram, would walk by and be like, how do I get involved? And I'm like, hit me up. I'll
Yeah.
write you in.
I stopped by because Chris Mill was playing, and then by the end of the day, I was talking to you and got you to him, and they played there a couple weeks later.
That was cool. That was very cool.
Word of mouth is the best advertising.
Agreed.
And then, like, so I started, since I had everything so booked up. Like, I literally had the whole summer booked up, and people were like, how do I get on? I'm like, summer's booked. So people were like, okay, when are we doing this again? And I was like, I don't know, you know, but I had those flyers out. So I would have flyers out that would have, like, the next 4 bands coming up, and that's what I was passing out. So you had, like, the next 4 shows, and then when that was done, the next 4 shows. So, but like I said, like, booking bands over booking comedy shows was just, like, it was cake. It just because, like, comedians are a whole other.
How so?
How so?
Yeah.
Comedians, I mean, you have to think you're a solo person having to come out. I don't want to say comedians are emotionally, you know, like roller coasters. You
Like,
know?
logistically,
Like,
how is
it's-
one person who only needs a microphone more difficult to book than a band with a drummer?
It's what I've experienced.
With a drummer.
Forget everybody else in the band. The
It's
drummer.
like-
The drummer's the problem.
Well, okay, I'm gonna just play devil's advocate to it. It's
Okay.
like, all right, how many? Like, because you're the first comedian I've ever met,
Hi.
like face to face. So to me, there's not a lot of you.
And that's another thing.
Okay, now there's a shit ton of bands.
There's a lot of bands.
Yeah, you know, and like you're right. There's or Mark, you were right about like entry level to this and that, and then all this other shit. So you kind of like round robin a band.
What does that mean?
Okay,
Can
well,
I get a definition?
pro band, beginner band, shouldn't be a band. You know,
Hey,
So-
I got kicked out of that band, all right?
so like, but that's what I mean. Like all 3 of us come to you,
Yeah.
no matter what. Like I can sit there and play Starland the one day, and then come to you and be like, "Can I play that Wednesday?" And you're gonna say yes. You know, so there's so many bands,
I
so many
know.
different
That's
types
why
of
I
bands.
had no issues. Like,
Yeah.
I literally had to turn people away.
Like,
where
that's something.
comedians, that's where, like you said, there isn't that
Yeah.
many, and a lot of people would have to drive a far distance to come do like a show.
So like that's new to me, or like a
Exactly.
new world I've never.
Yeah.
thought of.
And I don't want to say like bands are so thirsty to get out there, but like they
Oh,
just
they
want
are.
to play. And that's where
Well,
it
it
was
goes back to
like
what we
Because
were
there's
just
no-
touching on is there's not a lot of venues to play at. for a lot of different genres. And so you still have a ton of bands trying to play at 5 places.
Yeah.
So, once you put up the flag that, hey, we're booking shows,
Yeah.
they'll flock to it.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we felt welcome at Lo-Fi. I don't know much about Mill Hill Basement, but correct me if I'm wrong, but it's mostly hardcore stuff, right?
No, they do a lot of different stuff there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
they're
Britney Spears
they're
would
cool
be there?
people. No.
Oh, well, then they don't do a lot of stuff.
Because I do know Mill Hill is like more of a hardcore place.
Yeah, they tend
no,
to stick towards the
hardcore
heavier end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
but
so I
they
would
kinda
feel
dabble
out of
away.
place there.
Yeah, it's a
I
cool vibe,
also
though.
would feel out of
It's
place
very
Exactly.
I mean, the
We
feel
would
of the
not
place.
feel out of place at Lo-Fi.
The feel of the place is
that's
very
nice.
similar,
my
I would
point.
say, to the Saint. It's small, it's compact. There's stickers and shit all over the walls.
I've seen video. It looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
It makes me sad because I feel like we don't have
It's
a place
just
there.
it's just in the
Wait,
middle
where?
of Trenton.
Where?
Mill Hill.
Oh, Mill Hill.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just in the middle of Trenton. That's,
I thought you were
that's
gonna
the
say
only,
the Saint.
the only downside to it.
The only downside to it. It's a big downside.
Are you sure?
Positive,
Okay.
positive.
But I thought you said the Saint. I'm like,
He said the same.
yeah.
No,
So
no,
it's
no.
like the vibe of it's similar to the Saint.
Oh.
Like I said, stickers and shit all over the walls.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Smells like piss, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That's the good stuff. Stickers all over the wall.
That's where you feel like a fucking real musician. Smells like piss in here. I've arrived.
And I love the Saint too. I've played there a million times.
Oh, sorry, God.
But what's crazy though? Okay, for instance, the Saint.
Oh, she's taking over
Been
again.
going there for like
What the
forever.
fuck? You know what's crazy? Go ahead. Sorry. My bad. That was scary.
Shows are so expensive at the Saint now. Like even like
That's everywhere though.
How much?
Why? How much is a Saint
I
show?
mean, okay, we're used to be able to go to the Saint to see a show, $5, top 8. You know what I mean? Shows are like $15, $20
At the
now
Saint?
At the Saint.
Really?
The same.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, some of this. Yeah, if it's got a national act attached to it, yeah.
That piss marinated shoebox is $15 to get in. I say that with love and adoration.
I think it's funny
and
as fuck.
accuracy.
But it's wild though, because even at PNC Bank, when you used to be able to get lawn seats, $20.
Oh
Lawn
yeah, those
seat,
days are fucking gone.
long gone.
Yeah, I like last time. I was like, why is it 65? I could only imagine what it is now
To get it, yeah.
to
I
a
know.
lawn seat. So.
And it's like, okay, but that's what's wild is because, like, people, I mean, these festivals, you know, like hundreds of dollars. It's so unfair that people have to spend so much money to be able to see live music.
It's like I was going through shit the other day and I found a ticket stub. I think it was from '98. It was Fear Factory, Lamb of God, System of a Down at the Birch Hill. I paid $14 to get in the door.
But here's the thing.
$14.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate again because I like doing that. I know a lot of touring musicians. The insurance is astronomical now
For the venue?
for the venue. The
you're saying you have to charge that
The
much?
band has to pay it up front. The
What do you mean the band has to pay?
when let's say you go play the Arts Center.
Okay.
They're like, all right, cool. You have to have a policy of $1 million. I'm just gonna say a number, $1 million policy. So a
Okay.
band will have to pay like 100,000 or whatever the hell it would be up front.
So bands put out money to be able to play a venue.
There's a great old story I have from one of my friends. Here's a pie chart. Insurance, paying of the crew, paying for the bus. That much is the band.
Yeah.
That's why you have to play every city. Now, don't get me wrong. You could get $5,000 a gig, but that's one day. Tomorrow's another five. You know what I mean? So it's a business. It's called a music business for a reason.
That hadn't occurred to me. You don't know how much of a godsend you and Lo-Fi are as far as what you provide for
crazy
fans,
to me.
musicians.
What did I do?
It's shit out
That's
there.
crazy what you're
It's
telling me.
no fun. The way they do things out there. So the way that you put these events on.
You should have been charging way more.
But we didn't charge anything. That was like a thing that we did.
Because
get
we're all
nervous about.
artists in a certain way. We all want to be like, music, comedy, yada yada. Our craft. Man, that goes this far. After that, it's straight business. Here's my product.
Yeah.
Here's my CD. I'm done. Throw it in the garbage. Otherwise, go out there, sell it, promote it, make it into playlists. Like it's a business.
It's just so wild to me though, because entertainment is what makes the world go round. Entertainment is what keeps people sane. Like, I don't know about the music world, but I do know about the comedian world where, oh my God, like comedians will drive so far. People will pay so much money to get into like a comedy bar, $25 to get in, 2-drink minimum, a meal, and then like comedians will get paid maybe like $40.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That is awesome.
That's so much money.
It's like insane. Like, and how much does the bar make? Everything, or the club, or the
It's so
restaurant.
much money. I mean, I know people that will put on shows and they'll actually come out negative. Because to get people to come out, they'll be like, listen, I'll just pay for like your plate of food so they can get people into the thing. And then like the owners of the establishment make money.
Yeah, they don't care.
But
As
the
long as people are in the
entertainers
seats.
and the people that are booking the shows, the promoters, come out negative. Like, it makes no sense to me, like, at all. Like,
All right, so a long time ago, I played this place in Sayreville
okay.
and went
You
upstairs,
can still kind of tell us there, but go ahead.
handed the guy a little over $2,000 in ticket sales. We got back $190. $190.
So what you're saying, it's really not far off.
It's just so
And that's just one
insane.
band that was playing that night. We handed him over $2,000 and we got back $190.
So you're like comedians doing the promoting, doing the networking, doing the marketing, and then you get like nothing.
And the bigger the bigger venues will give you tickets to sell and say, "Hey, this ticket's
You do the
$35
work.
bucks.
Do they do that for
You get $2
comedies?
back for every ticket you
It's the
sell."
same thing.
Same thing,
Yeah.
man.
Like, I won't say venues, obviously, but there's venues where if you perform, you have to bring at least 15 to 20 people, or they will not let you perform.
Oh man,
Oh yeah,
that's
same
nothing
with
new.
bands. If you guarantee
So
50
insane,
tickets
though.
and you show up at 42, you're buying the last 8 if you want to play.
Yeah,
It's just so insane.
It is.
It's just so insane. It's very disgusting how like the higher ups just stay at the higher ups and just keep making that money. Where it's like, it's really insane.
So even on the local level, like there's a place in Asbury, and my band, well, not my band anymore, but we've been playing for like 13 years. We were nominated for Asbury Music Awards like 3 different years. Like, we go to this place and we're like, hey, we want to get on the show, and they're like, oh, well, you've never played here, or I haven't played here in a long time. So if you want to play a show like that, you got to come in and do our local showcase, and you got to bring at least 25 to 30 people on like a Tuesday night.
Are you on your phone
yeah. I wanted to look that up.
in the middle of this episode?
He's researching.
You want?
I think I speak on behalf of all of us that were hurt.
Aw,
He
don't be
was
hurt.
Doing research.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit there and look that up.
Take
Ooh.
back everything I said.
But it's
They got a new
it's
driver
everywhere,
out.
He's diligent.
No,
He
I'm not.
cares.
Actually, I don't. I kind of know the answer to this. It's just, but I'm just kind of fascinated that it goes along with the music. Comedy stuff is kind of very similar. There's pay to play. You're fucked. And I hope you love this. Otherwise, you're never going to make any money at it. So you must not like money, or you must really love what you're doing.
Do you think these people care anymore? Do
No.
you think they care anymore about
No.
music, about the arts?
We talk
No.
we talk about it all the time.
I am
Nobody
a firm
cares
believer.
about music anymore.
Nobody gives a fuck.
They're
The
soulless at this
attention
point.
span is gone.
They don't give a fuck. A lot of people give a fuck.
You're talking
They
about
don't give a
higher
fuck.
ups? Who
Yes.
do-
Oh, higher
Yes.
ups?
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
they
yeah,
don't give
yeah.
a shit. They only care about
They
his
never
dollars. It never did.
It never did. It was all about money. That's it.
That's not true. You
Because-
don't go into this not giving a shit.
Yes,
you go
you
into this
do.
because you give a shit.
No,
you
yeah,
buy
you
a
do
club
until you
because
start
you wanna
fucking
make
buying
money.
BMWs.
If you go into the music business because you want to make money,
You're
that's,
wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
so wrong.
Exactly. You're starting off falling on your
Yeah, but like I
face.
said, the guys that are running the shows and they own the clubs, they're not in music. They're a businessman that's
Okay, so you're talking
facilitating
about like
music.
the
Okay, so
the suit who owns the place.
Yeah.
I'm
Or
talking.
even the person that's
Even the
Okay.
person
that's
booking
booking the
it.
shows to an extent.
They have to show their boss.
That's
There's
who
always
I'm
a,
talking
there's
about.
always
That's
a
who
boss.
I'm talking about.
They have to show their boss. That
They
can
cared
get
at some
shows.
point. What did it? They cared at some
Money.
point.
Money, threat of losing their job.
They
reali-
became jaded.
Yeah, they realized
There's-
the more they do this, the more money they make. So they just kept doing that.
They're weak, is what they did. They lost their integrity. They lost their values. They lost the reason they got into this. And why are you laughing?
Because
I'm
I'm,
making
I'm
points.
literally. No, you're making points from an artistic point of view. which is fine and fair. But now let's put her on the hot seat here with Lo-Fi. Knowing what we're talking about, let's say you depended on that to be your job. How would you handle then the bands?
It would be a completely different thing.
You know what I mean? So it's like, let's put it this way. Like, she did it out of the kindness of her heart, and she did a great job.
I wanted to bring the community
But if there
together
was
and,
money
like,
involved,
well, that's
What would you do differently if you had to meet a quota? If by the end of every show at Lo-Fi you had to give David $100, what would you do differently?
that's an interesting question.
You have all the time in the world.
and you thought this was going to be a joke.
I mean, you could charge at the door.
Well,
or...
I wouldn't do a ticket sale thing like they were saying. Like the bands would have to do like a thing, or you couldn't play, or you had to pay the money. It would probably be something like $5 at the door, and it would still be something that was like a feasible amount of money, because for a while when I was booking shows, and booking shows was a way that I was making money, my love for it did completely change. Because when I did do the work for it and I did need to make money to pay bills, I noticed like what you were saying. You know, you're saying at a certain point, like time, like people became like jaded. Like, when did that happen? Because it is something that you do love and you invest your time in. Your time is money when it comes to, if that's what you're solemnly doing, and like you're not doing like a paid gig and you have to make money, because we have to pay bills. New Jersey's expensive as hell. We still got to pay our rent, our car insurance, yada yada. But when I was noticing that, I would put in a lot of work, a lot of networking, a lot of marketing. I would be more selective about who I would book, because I need to make sure that I'm pulling in the people to make the money.
Yep.
And when I realized I put out the money for the flyers, I put out the money to pay these comedians, because the further you came from, the more money I paid you. But
Which is nice of you to do.
I got paid.
Yeah.
And like that's where I looked at it, like where I'm the reason this is happening. I'm the reason that's pulling all these people together. I'm the one
paid.
doing what?
I should be paid.
I should get something.
Yeah.
I'm not coming out negative. That's for sure.
But I think, especially with bands too, like there's a lot of promoters that a lot of their shows do come out negative. A lot of them.
And it sucks.
Because they got to promise the club so much for the night, and if the bands don't bring enough people out,
Yes.
that's coming out of the promoter's
that
pocket.
would be the thing. When I'd book shows at the Brighton Bar, obviously they would take a certain amount of money from the ticket sales that I did at the front, and then I would divvy it up. Like I said, the further you came, you got paid the most money. Because some people were
Yeah,
coming
you got to
from the
compensate
city.
for travel. Yeah.
They were paying tolls. They were paying gas money, you know? Like, yeah, it would only be sometimes like $60, but $60 for 5-10 minutes of your time is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what we get paid hourly, you know? So, but I did notice when it came to the point where I had to bring in the money and I had to make the money,
You look at
my
it from a
love
different
for
aspect.
it was definitely changing. Because instead of at the end of the night, we're low fidelic, I knew it was a community thing. I knew I wasn't making money.
Yeah.
I didn't need to make money. You know what I mean? Obviously, I cared if David made some sales.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, did you sell any records tonight? Did you make any money? Because that is his time.
Yeah.
He is opening up the store later. You know what I mean? He does have electric bill he has to pay. He does have rent he has to pay.
Yep.
So I would like if David made money that people would actually buy like a record. You know what I mean? But yes, when I went into Low Fidelic and that was me just doing like a part-time type of thing, I didn't feel bad at the end of the night if like money wasn't made. I didn't have to think about it like that. I didn't have to think about, oh, did that comedian drive a certain extent? Oh man, like they didn't get paid for anything. You know, like I left feeling good every single time. So that's where it's like, yeah, there is a difference when money is to be made and money needs to be made, and you do have to pay the people. Love for it over a sense of time changes.
Yeah. You got bands around here, they're used to getting paid in exposure.
They still do that.
That hurts to hear, man. Everything you said.
Well, I mean,
So
You don't have to live your life like that, but it is a ugly truth.
being able to put on the kind of shows you did was a luxury, essentially, then?
I wouldn't even say like a luxury. I looked at it more as like bringing the community together. Like I didn't. What do you mean like a luxury?
You were able to make the decisions you did because you didn't have to worry about paying insurance. You didn't have to worry about...
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of it. I was able to book everybody and anybody. Everybody had a voice. If you had a following, if you didn't have a following. There were so many bands that were putting on their first show at Lowfidelic because I didn't have like an upper that I had to answer to. We just brought people in. We got the networking in. Like the community got brought together. People got to meet other bands that then brought them to like another booking or like so.
Why don't more places follow that model? Give bands the opportunities.
It's hard.
I'm talking about an establishment that has product to sell. Every time I was there, I bought a record. I didn't feel obligated.
Yeah.
Morally. I just want, because I was fucking in a record store. What do you do when you're in a record store? You buy records. Because why? Because you fucking love records and you want to buy music. Why
And
don't
that's
more
what
people
we
do
were
that?
But that's what we were hoping that would happen because you have to think it was a BYOB, it was free, and it was all ages. So even if you didn't have a babysitter, you can bring the kids. You know, if you didn't have $15 to spend on a beer, you were able to bring a 6-pack. You know,
How were you able to do that?
Mind
That was
your
the best part.
business.
That was the best part. I'd have a bottle of
Oh
wine
my
every
god,
night.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll be like, oh, this is a guitar. No, it's not. It's a bottle of fucking rum. But no, like,
This is a
but you
guitar.
see, like the cracks. So, like, not that I commend what you guys are doing, did whatever. But we come down on these bigger venues that, yeah, you know, you see how like, well, how'd you pull that off? Because it only takes once.
Well, that's
You know what I
we've
mean?
been, and hopefully, you know, David won't ever get in trouble.
No,
you know what I mean? It's
No,
just,
because it's a community thing. Unless somebody gets hurt,
yeah.
fine. But that's shit of it. I don't know why I didn't want to curse. I gotta start drinking some more.
Fucked up, man.
That's it's very fucked up. But if you go to even a bar, let's say a bar wants you to play, obviously you gotta pay. You know, I want this many people, blah blah, because that money's gonna pay the liquor license, the insurance, you know, security, bartender. Well, not really bartenders, but you
Sound
know,
guy.
yeah, like you said, bills, lights, water.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
Well, it's different when you walk in there too. There's a certain modicum of respect when you walk into lo-fi. When you walk into any kind of establishment like that, it's like when you walk into someone's house and immediately upon entering the foyer, you see that everybody has taken their shoes off. Like, oh, this person gives a shit about the state of their home. Whereas if you walk into someone's fucking futon single tube TV sitting on an empty TV crate, you're like, oh, I can piss on the floor and they're not even going to notice. You know,
Usually
when
a
you
lot
walk
more
into
fun
a
there.
place, you're not going to disrespect the establishment. And when you walk in a lo-fi, there aren't mosh pits. There aren't, because there's not much room for mosh pits. But you go in there and you respect the place.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, now that Mark has emptied his bladder,
I'm sorry to have disrupted the momentum.
you've ruined everything.
We can get it back. We can get it back. It's not ruined. It's ruined temporarily. If it's ruined. And I don't think it is.
So what is Burnt Tavern have coming up?
Can I go back to the subject from before?
oh boy, we're not done. Let's go another rock layer.
Well, no, it's fucked up that more establishments don't put on shows. You have shit to
Nobody
sell.
cares.
Fuck that. No, fuck that. The last show at Lo-Fi, the place was fucking packed. It was
Was it nice?
I had to shoot from outside.
No, it
I
makes
took
me-
videos from
you're
outside
talking
because I
about
couldn't
my
get inside.
show.
Your
Yeah,
show.
my show.
Your show.
Your
I couldn't
illegal
get
show.
inside. I watched it. I watched the show from the sidewalk. It was that packed.
Yeah.
You know how many records they sold? I actually posted a story on the Burnt Tavern Instagram of a dude during the band shopping for records.
That's awesome.
It was hilarious. And it was awesome.
That's
It was
awesome.
awesome. If you have an establishment and you're not putting on shows, the problem is you. The problem is fucking you. You could do something. You could make a difference. And you know what you're doing? You're not doing it. You're fucked up. Fix it. Fucking fix it.
Did you enjoy your last show?
There's a promo right there. Well, no, the problem is, like we just talked about before, a lot of people in in that position where they're going to have something, what are you doing?
Well, pick the fucking thing
I
up.
thought you were tweaking his
The
nipple.
people that are going to be in the position to
You know,
do
the
that,
problem is,
That's another
they're going to
thing.
say that the risk outweighs the reward.
Fuck them. We don't want them. No, don't put on shows. You suck.
But
You already
that's
suck. You're
another
going in
thing,
with a bad
though. Like,
attitude.
you
You got the
also-
wrong priority. I'm sorry.
You have to worry about getting sued. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, if you
yeah.
want to worry about getting sued, then worry about getting sued
But
and don't
that's
put
the
on
world we
shows.
live in
Continue
today.
to suck.
That is
and
the world
do
we
it.
live in,
And fucking
man.
die. Hurry up. Get
Everybody
out
is
of the way. Stop
looking
breathing
for
our
a
oxygen.
way to sue somebody and make a quick freaking $1 million. It's the way of the world these days.
Good, great.
As
Fuck
sad
'em.
as it is.
No. People like David, people like Heather are putting on real shows in a real place. No. They got their hearts in the right place. They got their souls in the right place. They got their minds in the right place. Other people are like that. They're not alone. You can put on shows. Coffee shops, breweries. I think I talked about it in the last episode.
Well,
that we were on.
Red Tank Brewery does shows.
Red Tank Brewery. Two Ton is putting on shows. Icarus puts on shows. Although I believe they have some weird issues going on because like the municipality only allows. What?
nothing.
They only allowed them
I
to put
love
on like
it.
5 shows a year or something. So that's the township fucking with them.
Yeah.
But no, if you've got any kind of establishment, just invite people in. You don't need speakers. You don't need mics. If you've got singer-songwriters, Soup Can Magazine did an event at Lo-Fi. It's a magazine that features painting and poetry. And they just had people reading poetry. Packed. The place was fucking packed.
That's awesome.
If you're not having events at your place, you are responsible for the downfall of society. Not singularly, but you're a part of it. Put on a fucking show.
He's all fired up over there.
It's so easy. Just don't suck. Just don't make the wrong decisions. It's so fucking easy. You don't need a PA. You don't need security. You don't need everything that you think you need to put on a show. You know what you need? 4 walls, a ceiling, and maybe an electrical outlet. That's it. That's it. Bring people in, gather the crowd, bring the people together, bring the community together, sell your shit, everybody wins. How fucking hard is it?
Yeah, I mean, even me to an extent, like between going to school and work and I have a hard time getting out the shows. I really do, unless I'm playing them.
That's okay though. Other people aren't like that, and they will go.
But there's a lot of people that are like that.
The people that are like that don't have to go. You will go when you're interested. That's okay.
And you also
The
have to
point
look at
is-
it
the
like
point-
you're talking about how special the thing at Lo-Fi is, but if that starts happening everywhere, that's not going to be that special anymore.
No, it's all going to be special. It's all going to be special. Just because there's a million pizza joints in Jersey is one lesser than another? No, it's still the best pizza in the world. You can open up a Wawa next to a Wawa that's next to a Wawa. They're all going to do great business. Why? Because Wawa fucking rocks. If you put on events, it doesn't matter how often they are. People will be there. You know why? Because people are fucking lazy. And you need to have these shows everywhere. You need to have these events everywhere. You need to have something available for everyone in their own community to go to gather to. It's like a modern day block party. And you need to put these things on. You need to have, and people have a certain responsibility. People have an opportunity. If you have an establishment, if you have a business, use your leverage, use your power as an opportunity to bring people together. And they're fucking not. Why? Because they don't get screamed at enough. She get fucking hit by cars. Not killed,
Or
just crippled.
A lot of them just don't want to put the extra effort in and
I'd
not make
rather
money
be
off
dead
it.
than crippled. No offense.
There's a lot of cripples who are upset by now. Probably less by what you said and more by the fact that I just called them cripples.
Really? Well,
Might have to edit that out.
I think Wawa should totally sponsor your band.
I agree. One
That'd
of
be
our dudes has
awesome.
a Wawa tattoo. I just finished reading the Wawa book. It's called The Wawa Way. I read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Okay,
I thought I would
I'm-
highlight the hell out of it because I thought everybody recommended it to me. I've been reading some Ryan Holiday. I've been catching up on my Stoic philosophy. I thought there was a lot of things that I could highlight in these books. I highlighted a fraction in those books of what I did while reading The Wawa Way by Richard Stockel. Good God, is that an amazing book. A true underdog story, integrity. Integrity is the parenthetical name of Wawa. It's Wawa/integrity, and it's fucking fantastic. I almost want to just quit everything and work at Wawa. I feel so strongly about it.
Woo. They're hiring.
They're all hiring.
I mean, you won't have time
Everywhere's
for music
hiring.
anymore, but you could totally do that.
Dude, the way Wawa runs shit, I could probably just play during my shift. I'll get the midnight shift pumping gas and just busk.
Interesting.
Busk under the lights next to pump number 5.
Mark that down.
Gosh.
Oh shit! Really?
He's at 15 already. Holy
Wow.
shit.
This shows how good I am at suppressing them. I could have blasted these fuckers. I could have peaked. I could have peaked these mics. I could have peaked her mic. I could have peaked your mic. But I didn't. I'm a gentleman and a scholar.
I was gonna say scholar.
I wasn't a scholar till I read the Wawa Way.
Oh, there you go.
Now
I went to
scholar.
Wawa school.
What do you mean?
What?
When you work at Wawa, you have to go to Wawa school.
You do. You have to be thoroughly trained. Tell me about the Wawa school.
No, it was a long time ago.
No, tell me about the Wawa school.
I was like
What was it
18,
like?
man. I don't even remember. We just went to a place. They're like
So
Wawa.
much has
They're like
happened
Wawa
since
means
then.
flying goose. That's all I remember.
So then, why do you guys think that smaller venues? Okay, so what Mark was speaking so passionately about, like, why do you think smaller venues don't do what Low Fidelic is doing?
Because they're putting in a whole lot of extra effort and you're not making any money on it. No guaranteed money on it.
I think because
And
they
if they
don't
get
know.
in trouble, they're fucked.
They don't know that.
down.
They,
Again, risk reward.
Yeah.
I think they don't know that they can do it. They don't know that it's an option.
But that
We
gamble
underestimate these
is
people's
kinda
imagination.
like-
I think
it's
we
definitely
underestimate
worth a
people's
gamble.
imaginations.
you think it's worth the gamble?
It's worth a gamble for a small place. You know, not saying that lo-fi is, but a small place that has nothing to lose
Yeah.
other than closing its doors.
So then,
Because how many record stores are left? How many tape store or
Yeah.
CDs? Tapes, Jesus Christ. How many CDs? You
I'm
know,
speaking
like
my language.
it's
Well, it's a thing of the past.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, everything's off the phone.
Yeah.
Everything is off the phone.
Not everything. Most things.
90%.
Well, I mean, it is. I do.
Well, wait, hold on.
have-
I don't want
Go
to cut
ahead.
you off
No,
because
go
I'm just
ahead.
gonna talk to this young gentleman right here. What are you aiming to do with your band? What's the thing that you're doing the most of right now?
Enhance people's lives in any way that we can, even
Wrong.
if it's just one
What are
person.
you doing to do that? Where are you putting this stuff to enhance their lives?
YouTube.
Okay. Where do you get YouTube?
Where do you get YouTube?
Yeah. How do you watch YouTube?
I see what you're getting at.
Yeah,
But we
man.
also play out.
Absolutely. How many times you play out versus how many times you post on YouTube?
What's your point?
There's no real point. It's just
No,
the
make your
phone-
point.
the
I'm
phone,
fascinated.
The internet.
Okay.
It's very business-like versus artistic.
But it's not everything.
It's not everything. I'm not saying that.
It's part of the pie graph. It's a big slice of the pie graph.
Yeah, man.
It's a greedy fat fuck version of the pie graph. It's
So, like, I commend anybody that will sit there and fight it. By all means, Lo-Fi doing their shows, awesome. It's such a small piece that I know it's special, but if you had everybody do it, I mean, Jesus, ASCAP and BMI were going into bars and clubs and finding them $3,000 for a cover band doing songs live.
You're right, and that's what needs to change. You're absolutely right, and that's exactly what needs to change.
Yeah. Oh, there's big changes that need to happen. I don't think I'll be alive to see it.
I disagree.
I hope I'm wrong. But right now, man, when I heard that where they were going in and finding cover bands for royalties, your establishment, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to go play Stairway to Heaven because you said that before. ASCAP could go in there and be like, oh, that's cool. You guys just played a cover song. Yeah, for you to be able to have bands do that, it's $3,000 because we have to pay the royalties. That's how bad it has gotten.
Not everywhere.
What do you mean?
We covered songs. ASCAP didn't come in.
I know that.
But, go
They
on.
will.
But they didn't.
No, you're right.
But they didn't.
Who are these Big Brother people you're talking about?
ASCAP, BMI, that's royalty.
They're like the.
That's what do you mean he?
You said,
what
that,
you
you said
do?
they. I'm not saying it. He's saying
Oh, I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's what you do?
Don't lump me, don't
Yes.
lump me into this jaded
You're going to get a phone call from me real soon. Hey, thanks, guys. No, it's all like the royalties.
Like
Royalty
you sign up
companies
for
and
BMI or ASCAP and you have yourself in there in the system and you get a number and anything that you've worked on gets assigned to that number. So anytime that number pops up anywhere for that song, it gets linked to you for a royalty.
Did you ever notice at restaurants they couldn't sing Happy Birthday up until very recently? Think back to any Applebee's you've been at, any hibachi. They didn't sing Happy Birthday. It was someone's birthday, and they sang some kind of bullshit rendition. Because you can't sing Happy Birthday.
Who owns Happy Birthday?
I don't know. You'd have to look.
Pull that up, Jamie.
Hey Google, who owns Happy Birthday?
No, fuck Google.
Did you know that?
No, it's
Fucked up, right?
it's
Yeah.
insane.
But it just changed recently, which is why you've been hearing Happy Birthday a little bit more often than you have. Yeah.
Because it could
It's like
actually
that,
hit
writ large.
75 years.
That's just so wild.
Fucked up, right?
It's crazy.
I've been in the restaurant industry for 17 years, and I've heard them sing Happy Birthday every single year.
They sing a name.
Every single
They
year.
put somebody's name
The
in
actual song Happy Birthday, Happy Birthday.
Oh, so if you put
to
someone's
you.
name
it. Yeah,
in
it's
it,
a different lyric.
then
Then your
it's-
boss
And we
is
all learned from
reckless.
Vanilla Ice.
That's wild.
I also think it's really petty. I mean,
But that's
It is. But you know why you feel that way? Because you're a good person. These people are not good people. They're greedy, heartless, soulless sons of bitches.
what?
It was fucking
Who owns it? Walt Disney?
R. Foreman, and it was in 1988 is when it became a U.S. royalty.
From 1988 till when? Like 2 years ago. 3 years ago.
I think a license is 75 years.
I don't know. I also think the world's just super tired right now.
Oh, come on, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people are tired. Like, you have a lot of passion, Mark. You know what I mean? Like,
More than the average band.
It's
Yeah,
just-
like tremendous.
it's just,
It's refreshing, actually.
Thank you.
but I think the average person is just so exhausted right now, and humans just having any normal human interaction right now is, like, difficult. You know, it's been very hard the past 3 years on a lot of people. And getting into, like, doing stuff like where we did at, like, Lowfidelic, like, bringing people together in a room, like, this hasn't happened in, like, years. I think a lot of people are exhausted. I think a lot of people are just having a hard time just being, like, a human in general. Where I know to you that sounds, like, ludicrous because it's like, you're like, well, it doesn't make sense, you know? But there is a lot of work going into it. I mean, it's exhausting dealing with other humans.
And here we go, that nice round robin.
It's exhausting, you know what I mean? So like doing what I did was easy, but it was also like tiring, you know what I mean? Because I do have to be a ringleader. I still have to make sure like stuff is flowing, stuff is happening, and you know, like I said, it was one of the easiest things I've ever done. But it doesn't mean it still wasn't like mentally exhausting to make sure, you know, like things like ran well. And I did always get nervous that like, you know, someone would come in and find David, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know what we were doing like legally or illegally, because people are assholes. If people can write a ticket and make money, like they won't even blink twice to think about it, you know what I mean? Because it sucks. People are so money hungry nowadays. Like, those old school values don't even matter anymore. Manners, like, what are manners? Like,
Yeah.
holding a door for another human being doesn't even happen anymore. So someone thinking about, like, booking bands and, like, thinking about, like, other than themselves, it's, like, rare to find people to do those things anymore. You know, like, it's, yeah.
You're making me feel bad. I feel like we just told you Santa Claus isn't real.
No, it's
Okay.
well, one, he's real, but two,
He's very real.
he's very real, and he left to go get cigarettes when I was 5 and hasn't come back, but he will come back. I've perfected my cookie recipe. I've got unpasteurized milk. He will come back. People, I think you underestimate people, and I am shocked that I'm saying this because I fucking hate people. But you said the average person. And it's unfortunate that we see that way because people are not average. People have so much more capability. People are capable of greatness. And they accept this thing. There's this foregone conclusion. There's this self-fulfilling prophecy that you are an average person, that you are a drone in a hive. But you are capable of greatness. Anybody who has achieved greatness in life has done so because they applied themselves. And you can do that. But people just think that they can't. And they don't. because they think that they can't. And it's this catch-22 self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. You don't have to be that way. You can change things. You can put on events. You can bring people together. You just have to decide that you want to do it, find how it's done. These people, these corrupt sons of bitches who are ruining these industries, who are tainting art with dollar signs, they are the minority.
I think majority of people don't care.
Said you also got to, and then if you do that at your establishment, you got to
Bingo.
hope that your neighbors don't complain, and then call the cops and have it shut down. Now, there's a lot of variables in this.
There's too many people.
Well, people suck.
yeah,
We
I
know
agree.
that. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
We need
You
to
know.
eliminate seatbelts.
But the thing is, like,
Hey, I don't wear my seatbelt.
it's yeah.
What the fuck? What did I do? I feel like I should be a better
You killed
person
Santa
now.
Claus, remember?
I did not kill Santa Claus. He's my bud. Nah, I really feel like I should be a better person when you're around. I'm not, but I really feel like I should be.
Why?
Look what I've brought up. Because I don't want to sit there and say I'm a realist, but now I'm in the business. I'm no longer, I say this to Matt all the time, I don't think I'm an artist anymore.
How come though? What happened?
I guess age. I'm going to say my age and then seeing how many times I've been taken advantage of by so many fucking places.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a saying, I'm an audio engineer. Where do you make money?
You underestimate your
On the
role.
on the other side of the glass.
You underestimate your role.
You're right.
You facilitate art. You fix amps. You record bands.
I
Who
keep
hears a
everybody rolling.
band without people like you? No one.
There's
People
not
come
many
into
of
that
us
room.
left.
There's you. Fuck other people. There's you.
Yeah,
if there's
but-
not many of us left, you know what the word for you is? Exclusive. You are a rarity, my friend.
And you know, I'm vintage. Yeah, I feel vintage
He's
now.
vintage.
He is. He's gonna get fired next week.
No,
don't worry.
you're the guy in the band. You're the guy that makes it happen. Punisher had microchip. No, you need someone who's putting your tools together, who's making it happen. Don't undermine what you're doing. Don't invalidate the role that you play in this machine.
Yeah, but it's not. But I know, or other guys like me that do the same thing I do. No, come on. How many studios do you know will sit there and go, yeah, man, totally record you 65, 85, 120 an hour? That's ridiculous. I give people opportunities and chances, whether it's 1, 5, cheap.
Bartering for tubes.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, yeah, nobody else would do that. I still have a little good left in me, but the artistic side of me now. I mean, you saw my Instagram. What was it? Friday? The first time I played in like 3 years.
How'd it feel?
Tiring.
Tiring how?
Because I made it through 2 sets and I was like, I'm fucking beat. How the fuck did I do this all the
You're
time?
out of shape.
But there's also nothing wrong to having that part of your life where you did something and then now you're just chilling for a little while. And that's another thing. Like, you don't have to always be going. You know, like where you're thinking he's underestimating like who he is and what his thing is. Like, are you okay with where you're at right now? Like,
Yeah. Just more relaxed, more everything.
He just
He's
yells
good,
at me
he's
all the
good.
time.
What was
but
that?
that's
It's
where
like you
it's
just
like,
yell at me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I get to yell at Matt. That's
did you-
fucking awesome.
I'm sorry, you were saying.
but like you doing this, what you're doing here is still an artistic, creative
Absolutely.
outlet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you don't have to be out in the world dealing with, you know, other people and, you know,
Exactly.
so there's different times in your life where it's like, you know, more mellow, more calm, doing something like this is like, that's fulfilling in its own way.
True.
You don't have to be, I mean, if you want to be out there playing a show, then do it.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? If
But
you
it's-
have that
it's-
energy,
yeah.
then do it. But if you don't have that energy, there's nothing wrong with it.
Exactly.
You know, like you're a father, I don't know if you have a partner, you know, like you have a house, like
Yes.
you're doing like grown up things. It's hard to still have like, I don't want to say like hobbies, But it's like having those passions where you're constantly out, like doing that networking, going to that practice, doing those things, and you're like, okay, I still have to do that self-care to make sure like I'm still just being like a functioning human being. Like, it's exhausting. I mean, you know, like going out and playing, like that's cool. You guys have done it. You know what I mean? Like, there's times where I'm like, oh, I'm not a comedian anymore because I'm not making money. I'm not out doing shows. I'll be a comedian to the day I die.
Oh yeah.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like, you're musicians to the day you die. Just because you're not active doesn't mean you're still not a musician.
True. Very
So,
true.
and it's not going anywhere.
Oh yeah.
If you want to wake up one day and you're like, I have that energy to do
I'm
this
good, thank
again, you can. There's
Yeah.
no rule saying you can't do it. You could be 70 and be like, know what?
I'm gonna
Now's
go
my
fucking
time.
play. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, there's been times where I've been playing in like 2 bands, playing like 3-4 times a month, you know, sometimes 4 or 5 times a month. And, you know, but right now, for the
Oh,
past,
that's awesome.
say, year and a half that we've been doing this, it's just playing one show here, another show in 2 months, another show in 2 months, and then doing this every once in a while. It's nice, it's a breath of fresh air, you know, just to take a step back and, like you said, not constantly go. Because you get to a point where you realize that the go is good when you're trying to get somewhere with it. But where I know for me at least, I'm at the point where I only do it because I love to do it. And that's it. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it because I want to do it and I love to do it.
yeah.
And I do it at my leisure.
Do you get though that that's the point? If you love it, that's it. As long as you love it. So many of these people who are poisoning the industry are doing things not because they love it.
The businessmen. They don't even give a flying fuck
Exactly.
about
Well,
the
the other
art.
thing you're fighting too is going back to the internet. You're fighting having anything you want to watch or listen to at your fingertips at any given moment. You don't have to drive an hour or 45 minutes to go to a show to see a band. You can just pick up your phone or go even cast it to your TV and you can watch 40 of their live concerts in professional sound and you can fast forward through the songs you don't like.
Case in point, Taylor Hawkins tribute. YouTube, TV, Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus streamed it, yeah.
Like, I mean, I watched the whole thing. I didn't, you know.
But what's wrong with that? That's okay.
I'm saying, but that's just another thing that you're going to fight against what you're talking about. Having
It's
these people
so-
put on these shows is it's harder and harder to draw people to actually go to a physical show.
Like, okay, so wait a minute. Here's a prime example. Okay, I couldn't be at the Foo Fighters thing, but I still watched it.
Yeah.
I can't make it to your next show. Imagine if it was on YouTube, live. Well, I could watch it. You know what I mean? It's like we're fighting this battle where it's like, and I'm sure this
It's
is with the
not-
comedians too, because you know what? I look up Dennis Leary or Sam Kinison or whatever the greats were, or I don't even can't even think of all of them, but
Bill Hicks, George Carlin.
George Carlin,
Richard Pryor. You
but I
can't-
can see them all on YouTube. I can see their live shows. Growing up, we couldn't do that. Fuck, there wasn't even a computer. I know,
But
I
there's
sound like an
magic in
old
being
man.
there. There's magic in being there. The fact that it is put on, you
Absolutely.
have an option. You have an option. You can't see it every time, and that's
Sometimes
okay.
you don't have an option though, and I'll
That's
probably
the problem.
say 80%
That's the
of the
problem.
time.
There
you
should
don't.
always be an option. There should always be something going on. You don't wake up and see every sunrise, but you know that there will always be a sunrise. That should you choose to, you can wake up, have that discipline, and see it, and witness it, and experience that moment in your life.
But it's
you-
also choosing your battles. Do I want to get up and watch the sunrise, or do I want that extra hour of sleep so I can actually make it through the day?
Which goes back to her point of people are just tired, man. Like, I know I go, and then crash.
But you still need the option. You need that there.
Everybody has the option, man.
No, they don't. That's my
I
point.
think they do.
No, the shows aren't being put on.
Well, that.
The shows aren't
Yes.
being put on.
But you also have the option to go, well, you know, if I can't go to a lo-fi, well, you know what? Then screw it. I'll go sit there and
Everybody
sell
has the
all these
option to
tickets.
just go option that to someone else and make it happen.
What do you mean?
Like, you have an idea, you go find a place that could do this and pitch it to them and say, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do with you.
Because I guarantee
That's
you,
an
you'd be able to convince somebody to do a show like that.
Go in there with your used card, you know.
No, man, just go in there with that same passion. I would believe you. Like, all right, let's try it.
Like, you know how many bodies you can fit in this trunk?
This is the most depressing one yet. Yay!
No, this is
Guys
good
are-
stuff. No,
It's
no,
actually
no.
really good.
Depressing is contrast, man. No. It's real. It's fucking real is what it is. It's honest is what it is. It's authentic is what it is. It's what the world fucking needs.
Except for every reason you could think of to do it, we could probably think of 10 that somebody wouldn't do it.
Yeah, okay. I agree. But what carries more validity? You have a reason to do something and a reason to not do something. Where's the value in doing something versus the value in not doing
Because
something?
people are inherently
Wait,
selfish.
no. Let's ask the
That's
non-musician
an assumption.
first.
That's based on an assumption.
Ask the non-musician first.
Can you repeat the question?
You have the option to choose. What was it again? How did you put it? I can't. You have the option to do something or to. Oh fuck! Hit rewind. What was it? It was
It was a solid point. Just because we forgot it doesn't mean it wasn't a good point. It was so long ago. It was so long ago when you said that. It was at least 40 seconds at this point.
Man.
Oh man. Okay.
See, we're all exhausted.
Will, are you paying attention?
I asked him already. He doesn't.
No. And there we go. Here's your consumer. Were you paying attention?
That's on us. That's on us. No, he's here. Kudos to him.
Yes.
If he doesn't remember what's going on, it's on us for not
He's
enrapturing.
right there, and we can't even keep his attention.
Okay, I got a couple.
What was
questions.
it you said? You said that you for every point I make, there's a you. For every
And then
me,
you
there's
said
a you.
There's a reason to do it and a reason not to do it.
But they're not equal. There's a false equivalency there. A reason to do something. You're saying that there's a reason to not do something versus a reason to do something. But for me, the reason to do something vastly outweighs the reasons to not do something. The reasons to do something are priceless, are invaluable. The reasons to not do something are logistical. It's like what we were talking about outside. You can always get more money. You can always get more land. You can never get more time.
Yes.
Time is priceless. Time is the only non-renewable resource. You may have a laundry list of reasons to not do something, but I can give you one reason to do it.
I'm waiting for
Wait, you
like
make it-
the
I
red
got
pill
that.
or the blue pill.
Wait. Tell me.
You ask why. Why not?
Because you have a laundry list of reasons not to do it. You got to do more work, and you ain't making any money. That's how people are inherently selfish. That's what it is.
Not all people.
The
Not
vast
all
majority.
people. Fuck those people. They can stay at home. They'll watch on YouTube, and they'll miss out. Fuck them. Fuck them.
But I mean, is making money selfish?
No, but it's I'm saying it's inherently selfish because you're thinking of you and what you're gonna do with it and your needs from it.
It's
Making
not selfish.
obscene amount of money is selfish. Yes, an obscene amount.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I mean, you should be able to live.
If you need to pay your internet bill, if you need to pay your electric bill
So
for the extra 2 hours that you stay open to let some spoken word artists and stand-up comedians come in, and you need to cover that, that is not selfish. But if you are charging people to sing Happy Birthday and sending ASCAP in and charging cover bands $3,000 to do Wonderwall, that is another matter entirely.
Yeah, I know.
That is
Wonderwall
another
would
matter
have to be at
entirely.
least 6,
No,
'cause
no, no.
fuck
There is
that
a
song.
spectrum. We are speaking in generalizations in an irresponsible manner. There are spectrums to this. You can be in the Venn diagram of these worlds and coexist peacefully and maintain the integrity of art and maintain the integrity of expression and also cover your bottom line. It's not impossible. People are just fucking lazy and jaded, and they don't know that there's an option. They don't know that they could do that. Someone who has a coffee shop is just thinking about their fucking beans, is just thinking about their gluten-free fucking scones that they need to provide for somebody. No. They're not thinking about putting on an event. They're not thinking about their larger role in the community. They're not thinking about that stuff, and
They're
that's
thinking
fine.
about these
They're a
codes would be better
business.
with gluten.
Yeah, exactly. They are thinking about that, and good for them, because gluten-free sucks. It's just grainy, and it's sandy, and it doesn't have the same elasticity. No. Good. I want that person thinking about that. But you need someone who's also thinking about what else they can do to serve their community.
So go make it happen.
Okay.
Okay.
I charge you with this quest.
That's it.
Didn't you say you had some questions?
Oh God.
Did you forget?
I did that. My brain exploded.
Oh man. I mean, medieval times we'd all be dead by now. So I mean.
Oh my God. We would be beheaded.
It's a common misconception that lifespans in medieval times were much shorter. Like the average lifespan was
really?
like 30, 40, and everybody thinks you only live to about 30 or 40, but it's because the infant mortality rate was so high. If you could survive your first couple years, then you'd most likely live to a ripe old age of 70, 80 or so. It's just that the infant mortality rate was so high that it dragged down the average, so that the average lifespan was about 30,
got
40
it.
years. Right? Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, what are some of the things that comedians hate when the average person comes up and is like, "Oh, tell me a joke," or where are you playing?
Comedians don't like talking to people at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? I don't know. I'm asking a question.
It's
Why?
just there's very big egos in the comedy world.
Okay.
Comedians like to be around other comedians. I notice a lot of comedians are okay performing on stage because you're not really having a conversation with a human being. You're talking at people. You're talking,
Yeah,
above
not talking
people.
to someone. You're talking
exactly.
at them.
But then, I don't want to say majority of comedians are mentally ill, but it's just we're self-absorbed, or that it's just that they just don't really like talking to people. It's just like an uncomfortable thing. It's like you could really care less what the person has to say, because they are going to ask you questions like, how'd you get started? How do you write a set? And you're kind of like, why are you bothering me? You think we know? We just did it. It's just talking to people in general. It's just
Do you feel uncomfortable right now?
not at all.
Damn.
Well, that's because I'm a different type of comedian. I'm
Okay.
not just a comedian.
What? Okay.
I
thought you were gonna tell me there were like different types of comedians,
Well, there is.
Oh,
there's
okay.
there's. I'd say I'm more theatrical. I grew up in theater. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like singing, all that. I'm not a great dancer. I could do the Charleston and stuff like that. But, where. I mean, I do sing. I don't play instruments. I've tried. It's just not going to happen. I did piano lessons for a year. It's not in me. I'm not going to force it anymore.
Disagree.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's not. You got to find the right vessel.
My voice is my instrument. I'm just not. I have an egg shaker. All my instruments I handed down to his daughter because I was just like, here.
Here you go.
Here's my tambourine. Here's my egg shaker.
Okay, so there's like a theatrical comedian. What else is there? Like what other? I don't know, brands. I don't know. What do you call it? Like,
I don't even really. I don't know.
is there mean ones, nice ones,
Clean ones.
dirty ones?
Well, I mean, it's just
Clean
we're
ones
not.
takes a while.
Everyone always thinks we're social. I mean, everyone thinks Robin Williams was like always on, and if you meet Robin Williams like in real life, R.I.P. He wasn't like a lot of comedians when they come off stage, they don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? It's
So
just
the person on
not.
stage is a character.
You're already up there entertaining people as an individual, and when you're done, you're done. Like you have your small group of people that you talk to and like relate to or whatever. But where are we going with this again?
Who?
Different types of comedians.
Yeah, like
where like I said, like I just don't do comedy. I do music. Like I do community service. I do public speaking. It's not just stand-up comedy.
Okay.
So
Question.
I finger paint. What?
Can you think of a single stand-up comic that wasn't neurodivergent? Go.
Neuro what?
name it. Fucked up.
Does that mean they could fly through the air? Like, what does that mean? What? Neurodivergent?
Who didn't have some kind of mental illness, some kind of mental deficiency, some kind of neurodivergency?
No.
No. You're a stand-up comic because you see the world a little bit differently, because you relate to people
Well, yeah,
a
of
little
course.
bit differently.
Who's comfortable getting up in front of, like, that's some of people's biggest fear, is to do not only public speaking, but trying to get up in front of strangers and try to make them laugh. Like, people are like, "Were you insane?" And you're like, "Duh."
I mean, it's not much different. It's not much different than getting up and playing or singing.
I
Yeah.
think it's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's very different.
incredibly different. There's a
can see it
vulnerability
this
that
way,
comes with stand-up comedy
I mean,
that you don't get with
have
music.
a heckler. You're not just up there by yourself. Like,
You're
you
too loud to have a
your-
heckler.
You have your instrument, you have your music, you know where it's going. You get into that vibe of those notes and that sound. Like, when you're up there, your goal is to entertain someone, make somebody laugh, make someone think a different way. You know, like,
Yeah, I got it.
the thought of trying to make somebody like laugh is like, it's wild. You know, if I get one person to laugh, I'm happy with that. Dead ass. Like, because I know I'm not a comedian for everybody. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I don't want to say, like, you know, think women aren't funny, but, like, or I'm like,
Did I miss something?
She said women aren't funny.
I didn't see that. Wow.
She was like, women aren't funny, and let me tell you why.
But,
Top 3 women stand-ups. I'm sorry, you were making a point. Go on. I'm sorry, I think I broke your momentum. There's
Papa,
a
can you
vulnerability.
hear me?
No, there's a vulnerability that comes with being a stand-up. Like, I'm speaking from experience. That you can hide. You can hide when you're a musician. You can hide behind your amp. You can hide behind the crowd. You can hide behind the lights. But when you are a stand-up comic, you're just telling stories.
So,
I am paraphrasing / misquoting, but Tarantino said something along the lines of, when you're watching your movie that you wrote, you should feel embarrassed. You should feel humiliated if you did your job right, because there's a
Interesting.
vulnerability, there's a rawness, there's a truth there that is embarrassing. And I think that's something that bands don't really have to worry about.
I think they should. Sometimes when I see some bands, I'm embarrassed for them. Like,
No,
you
I-
guys really fucking must love playing music, because that's about all you're worth. See, and there's the business side of me. It's just like, you're not worth a fucking damn. No. All right.
Can we address my question, though?
What is it?
Top 3 women comics.
Okay, obviously Sarah Silverman.
Obviously, Sarah Silverman. Okay.
I am a big fan of Wanda Sykes, for sure.
Okay. Morgan Murphy.
I don't even know who that is.
Irish Goodbye. Oh, the special is so good. Her Irish Goodbye special.
And
What about
Meg.
Ellie Wong?
I'm the third, myself.
You're the third.
Nice. There you go.
Fuck yeah. Fuck
My
yeah.
number one.
That's
That's
confidence
the right
right there.
attitude.
There we go.
Well, on that note, everybody, I hope everybody gets home safely. And
we're done?
yeah, we're,
Bye.
we're done.
Are we done?
I mean, we're already well over an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got,
Why do we gotta
Like,
be done?
we got the
we
material,
only need 20
Mark.
minutes.
What?
Wow, and they have to do this editing. It's a lot. They have to cut out a lot.
I know.
Your burps alone are 20 minutes.
I'm at 19 now.
He's at 19.
Do we have to be done?
Do you have any questions for her that you want to squeeze in?
It's not
Do you
so
have
much.
anything that you want to say? That you want to touch on?
She had some notes. She has a lot.
Yeah, what were on your notes?
No.
Move on.
She's
your
like,
glitter
no,
pens.
fuck
Move your
this, I'm
glitter
done. I
pens.
wanna go home.
Literally, no.
Peach stock. What's peach stock?
That's definitely beach stock.
Beach stock.
Beach stock was something that I did last year, and it only happened one time because I made it very family oriented, and I invited my grandma with dementia, and it was just way too much.
What's beach stock?
But what it was is I invited bands, and we played on the beach.
Oh, that's cool.
It was like I wanted to have like a Woodstock type of vibe,
nice.
and
Speaking of
so-
Woodstock, did you have permits for it?
no.
Oh, see, even Woodstock had to have permits.
But see, that's the beauty of keeping something small.
No, you're right. Like,
Like,
how many people were
I've-
there?
15,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
That's fucking
So-
awesome because it's very just like
But
close
that's
knit.
the thing. Like, I don't like you said something earlier about like the end game? Like, what's the end goal for like being like a musician? What's the end goal for like an entertainer? Are you looking to book that Netflix special? You know what I mean? Like, I just do stuff. I don't want to say just to get by, but it's like I just do things because I enjoy doing them. Like, I don't like.
Because you love it.
It's just something that I like to like put on my resume. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I did this. What else can I do now? What else can I do now? What else can I do now? Like when I said to you last time, I was like, I would love to just do like, I love doing podcasts. I love doing like characters. Like it's a whole like, so that's where I would like to start going towards because it's exhausting doing stuff in front of people. It's exhausting going out into the world. It's exhausting driving, you know? So it's like, yeah, there goes my brain.
Agree
How
or
many
disagree?
times you were like, oh, I have questions? Ooh.
You said
Once.
You said
One
I
fucking
do
time.
things because I love them,
Yeah.
right? But you
And you're a super passionate dude about pretty
Yes.
much everything.
Yes.
but you said that in an almost apologetic tone. You're like, I do things because
Well, because I
love
do
them.
feel bad that I can't just find one thing that I love so much and to go full throttle with that. Like there's so many comedians that I know. They're like, I just want to be a comedian and that's that. And they're so hardcore into it.
Hardcore.
Corn, porn. What are we doing here?
You know, so I do feel bad when it's like, I wish I was like fully passionate about one thing to go forward. But then I'm 36 now and I'm just getting comfortable with saying like, oh, I dabbled in photography before. Oh, I dabbled in like, you know, whatever, blah, 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 yazzie, yazzie. You know what I mean? Because I did feel guilty not being out doing comedy 5 nights a week, you know, but I know who I am at this point. It's like, okay, I do comedy. Like I said before, music, you could always go back to it. Comedy, you could always go back to it. It's never going to go anywhere. But I do feel bad that I'm not like wholeheartedly into something.
There's nothing that you're wholeheartedly into.
Death. I'm just kidding.
That's gonna happen anyway.
I
You don't have to
know.
be
Isn't
into it.
that so
It's
lovely?
coming your
The
way.
end. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
there we
go.
go. That's it.
Tune.
The end. We're done.
You still have that fire. I think you still kind of have it too.
You're killing it slowly.
Oh yeah.
The fire?
Try. Yeah, like I listen to you talk and I'm like, oh man, I remember being like that. It's like everything and everything and everything and everything is this. If you don't see it, there's something wrong. Like you need to open up your mind, open up that door. Now I'm like, yeah, man.
What's my favorite TV show? Come on.
Well, that shifted. You're a parent now, right?
It happened way before I became a parent. Like, a good friend of mine that still plays, he's like, dude, it's like you're in the worst fucking breakup. So, like, yeah, I loved music. Didn't love me back. Like, that's, like, seriously, like, mind fucking like that. It's like being with your girl and she's just like, yeah, see you later. Or, boy, whatever you want to be. See you later.
You
know?
loved what you love, though. That hasn't changed. You let it change you. There's some outside influence that did this to you.
See, but I can speak from experience. Like, he still enjoys the once every week or once every other week just jam with the boys, and there's no pressure. It's just.
But I'll even go one more. I love creating, and I love creating in recording studio walls. So you'll get me in a studio no matter what time, what day, whatever. The second you want me to go deal with some fucking asshole at a fucking bar or at a stage manager or fucking sound guy that's going to just piss me off, or a promoter that's just a cocksucker. Nope, not going to do it.
You know what
no
those
drive
are?
to do it.
You know what you have right now? Boundaries. You have secure boundaries.
Okay.
That is a very healthy thing. You have matured to the point that you know what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to stand for. That is perfectly okay. That is a great thing. That is a beautiful thing. That is something that a lot of people don't ever find in their life. They get stepped on, they get taken advantage of, and you've reached a point where you will not stand for that shit. Kudos to you, sir.
I'm also 44, so it's fucking awesome.
Yes. You don't have much time left.
That's right.
Every
Next
second
thing you know is a
counts.
finger in the ass and your ass is going in the ground. Anyway,
Wait, Mark, how old are you?
Take a guess.
Your energy is at 24.
I'm
Not
going to
bad.
say
Not bad.
35.
Sir?
10.
Closest guest yet. Will, you want to chime in?
28.
I have a question. Now,
We're never gonna know.
And this is the one thing I really wanted to talk about, and I mentioned it to you at the show. So, if you were to take the best stand-up comics, and I'm just going to shout them out and say off the top of my head, across generations, George Carlin, Bill Hicks, Mitch Hedberg / Anthony Jeselnik to me.
Just kidding.
Bill
Now-
Dane Cook.
Now, prophets of a generation. In another era, they would be standing on a mountaintop speaking truth to the masses. Who else stands on mountaintops speaking truth to the masses into microphones? You have musicians, you have artists. If you took some of the best stand-up comics, gave him a guitar indistinguishable from Bob Dylan, if you took some of the best musicians, if you took the microphone away from Rage Against the Machine, you'd have a stand-up comic screaming truth like Bill Hicks. The best stand-ups and the best musicians are borderline indistinguishable. They speak truth. That is the commonality between the two. There's a Venn diagram between the best here and the best there. And what it is truth to power.
You all right?
I'm blown away. Like, I don't even know how to answer that. Cool.
Yeah, I thought that might spark discussion, but it seems to have just screeching halted this entire fucking
Well, on that note, I'm going to bed. Fuck y'all.
deal.
Wawa time.
All right, well, thanks, guys, for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
We'll have to do it again sometime.
agreed, man. She said she likes doing podcasts. She's got a beautiful voice. I'm an asshole who belches 19 times.
You
Can
couldn't
you get one
20,
more?
huh?
Then we gotta get 20.
I'm not feeling it right now.
no,
But
no
if we
proof.
can keep dragging this out, I don't need this to belch. In fact, I was belching.
Really? Is that how we're going to end this?
That's how we started it.
Actually, we're going to end it with shouting out our sponsor, Lowfidelic Records.
Yeah.
Right up
You
there.
should totally check that out. Don't break any arms.
I literally looked. I was like, where?
there.
Dude, Low
Is
Fidelic
it? Oh,
Records
no.
has the
Oh,
best
nope, nope.
selection I've
That's
ever
us.
fucking seen in a
Where
record
is it?
store.
Is it up here?
Low Fidelic Records has the best fucking selection I've seen in a record store, and that includes, this is a bold statement that you may all disagree with, better than vintage vinyl. Vintage vinyl had a great selection of metal, had a great selection of rock, live performances, live signings, but they didn't have a weird section. Lo-fi has a section called Weird. I've currently bought 9 records out of that section. One of them, I think, was just a lecture on dissecting people, and I have it on vinyl. I've got that shit on vinyl. I've got weird
Why?
Hungarian folk music because it was there and it was cheap.
What do
and I
you
was
do when you
drunk.
listen to that record? Like wash dishes? Like what do you do? When you just sit there and like
You just put it on.
ponder it?
You just put it on. You fucking rip
Are
out
there
pull-ups.
sound effects?
No, dude. You put on a college lecture from 1967 and you fucking
Like when
rip
you're
crunches.
cutting stuff, is there sound effects?
Fuck
Like what
yeah.
are they're dissecting humans?
I'm carving up a pork shoulder to grill for my guys, and
Why did I think you said it was like carving up humans?
you are projecting this onto me.
No, you definitely said carving.
Yeah, it definitely says carving up humans.
Okay, so he
I
did,
said
right?
pork shoulder. I
No,
said carving up pork
You
shoulder.
said human.
I did
He
not
did.
say humans.
Serial
did.
killer song.
I did not say humans. I said
That's-
pork shoulder.
No, you definitely said
I
humans.
slow cooked a pork shoulder and I made these pulled pork sliders for my guys the other night.
Pork or Paul?
Pulled
You're
ball.
putting these in my mouth. I am trying to be
There's a
courteous
soundbite for you.
host. I'm trying to be a chef, and you're making me out to be some kind of serial killer.
No, you definitely said human though. Like 100%.
How much you want to bet?
Well, I would like to thank both
much
of
you
you for
wanna bet?
coming.
How much
Yes.
you want to bet?
Because
How
I'm
much you
going
wanna
to go
bet?
smoke a cigarette and maybe try to.
We'll check
I'm gonna
the
go get mac
videotape.
and cheese
10
from
bucks,
Wawa.
20 bucks.
Oh, okay.
20 bucks, 20 bucks.
Let me-
no,
let
no,
me
no,
end the
on
con-
camera. This is a wide lens right here. This is my hand. This is my hand. 10 bucks. I did not say humans. Shake it. Shake it.
Peace out, everybody.